Hello everybody, welcome to Elite Weather. I'm meteorologist Mr. G, back with you guys once again. Happy Wednesday. We've all made it to the midway point of the week. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week and everything is going well for you. Let's talk about that weather forecast. But before we do so, our city of the day is Jackson, Mississippi, where we're going to be seeing a lot of heavy rain as we work our way through the midweek point of the week and later into the week. We're going to see a lot of rain down across the south, especially along the Gulf Coast. So Gulfport, Mississippi, places like New Orleans is going to see the heaviest rainfall amounts, where we can see up to 8 inches of rain possible along the immediate Gulf Coast. Now, Jackson's just a bit further to the north. They're going to still pick up several inches of rain as we have a storm system that's moving from west to east along the Gulf Coast. It's just right offshore, and it's going to spread a lot of that rainfall across much of the south. Much needed rain for you folks down there, as you've had drought conditions over the last several months as well. Even back through the summer, we've seen very dry weather conditions across much of the southern U.S. So some much needed rainfall. It's just unfortunate that it's going to be kind of heavy for some of you folks, and it could lead to some travel issues and flooding issues as well. So let's move on with the rest of the forecast as we talk about what we're going to see across the rest of the lower 48. Okay, here's the forecast for the rest of the lower 48 as we take a look at what we're going to be seeing out there. And let's look at our first map here. As we start off, we're going to see very warm weather late in the week. We're going to see it warm down here across the south as we have that rainfall right now. But once we're done with that rainfall, warm weather is going to move in. We're going to see that rain spreading down here across Florida. Some wet weather is going to move into the Great Lakes and the Northeast as well. Later in the week, we're going to see wet weather. And that warm air that we've been seeing here across the North Country is going to be displaced with this cooler air, as that storm system that's working its way from west to east is going to move into the northeast. And on the backside, we're going to see that cold air drop down into the upper Midwest. And nice weather will continue across the desert Southwest, but we're going to see rain move into California later in the week, and we're going to see cool, wet conditions across the Pacific Northwest as well. It's going to be cool and slightly showery, some on and off again rain showers into parts of the Northwest, but the bulk of the rain will shift to Southern California later in the week. In our next map, we're going to take a look at that storm system across the West Coast, and we're going to see those showers from Northern California all the way down to the Mexican border. We're going to see those showers, but mostly dry weather in the interior of the Colorado and the Rockies there. We're going to see nice weather take place across there. Meanwhile, while we deal with these rain showers along the California coastline, because we have this storm system just off the coast there, and that's going to slide due southeast, and that's going to spread those rain showers along the coastal sections. Our deeper moisture is going to remain mostly offshore here, but we're going to see it inch closer to the California coastline. We're not going to break any records with this rainfall, but a little bit of moisture and precipitation will be beneficial to the state of California. Any rainfall that they can get. So we're going to see that showery weather continue for Wednesday through Saturday. We're going to see those on again and off again rain showers. So in our next map, this is that warmer air that we're going to see for another day or two across the upper Midwest. So the northern plains here, Minnesota and the Dakotas, we're going to see pretty nice weather for this time of the year for your mid-November or so. We're going to see temperatures in the 60s. We're going to see some 70s out there as well in the high plains and a little bit further across the central plains. We're going to see those warmer temperatures But again, that's going to be short-lived because we will have a storm system that's going to move across this area, and that's going to cool things down as we get to the end of the week. So we're going to see another day or two of this beautiful warm weather across the Northland here, because that weather is going to eventually shift to the Northeast. But in the meantime, for your Wednesday, today in the Northeast, it's going to be kind of cool and a little bit breezy as well. High pressure right along the Atlantic seaboard is going to make for an offshore flow as that clockwise circulation around this area of high pressure. So we're going to see cooler air coming down out of Canada that's going to be pushed toward the coastline as well. So New England and into Nova Scotia, we're going to see that offshore flow. But toward the south here, on the south side of our high pressure zone, we're going to see that warmer air eventually coming up from the Midwest, and that's going to filter into the eastern Great Lakes here and into parts of the mid-Atlantic. So we're going to see that warmer air eventually filter its way into this area starting tomorrow and into Friday. So we're going to see a bit of warm up across the Northeast. And thinking of that warm up, and this is for Wednesday into Thursday and Friday. So we're going to see that warmer air coming in from the southwest toward the Northeast. So we're going to see those temperatures in the 50s and the 60s, and we're going to see some 70s back here through the Ohio Valley and through parts of the Central Plains. So we're going to see a nice warm up with that air moving from the Midwest into the Northeast with those warmer temperatures before we see a storm system by the weekend that's going to bring some rain showers. And thinking of storm systems down here along the Gulf Coast, we have this rainmaker that is going to be bringing rain for Thursday. Through Thursday, we're going to see that rain along the immediate Gulf Coast. This is where we're going to see the heaviest rainfall along the Gulf Coast, I-10 corridor, and down along the southern I-95 corridor and 85 down here in South Florida. So Miami and Fort Lauderdale, we're going to see a lot of heavy rain, and we're also going to see that heavy rain from Jacksonville all the way over to New Orleans. We're going to see that heaviest rainfall where we can see isolated amounts up to 16 inches possible, that heavy rainfall. And looking at our rainfall totals, we're going to see heavy rain along the Texas Gulf Coast, Corpus Christi, Houston, and Beaumont. We're going to see heavy rain across that region, and we're also going to see heavy rain along the immediate Gulf Coast here. So we're talking about from New Orleans over to Tallahassee and Gainesville, we're going to see the heaviest rainfall, where we can see up to 12 inches of rain possible, 8 to 12 inches in that darkest areas. Well, actually, I'm sorry, that's 4 to 8 inches. The 8 to 12 is going to be reserved for way down here in the Miami area and Fort Lauderdale, southeastern Florida, where we're going to see that potential for 12 to maybe even 16 inches of rain. So a lot of rain is to be had across the state of Florida and the southeast over the next several days. So please get ready for that, as that could cause some travel delays on the highways, make the traffic a little bit bad. Shouldn't cause too many delays as far as air travel is concerned, but highway traffic is definitely going to have some issues with that heavy rainfall down across the southeast. Now we'll have another potential for significant rainfall as we head into early next week. So next Monday and Tuesday, another storm system is going to move out of the southern plains. We have this low pressure with this trailing cold front there, and that's going to make for heavy rain, that tropical moisture coming up off of the Gulf of Mexico. that's going to get pulled up by that area of low pressure right there, and that's going to bring more significant rainfall and thunderstorms, and maybe even some severe weather potential as we head into next week. So we've had a lull in severe weather lately. It's been very, very quiet as far as severe weather is concerned, but this may introduce some severe weather across the deep south early next week. So please be prepared for that. And this weekend, we're going to see a storm Friday through Saturday night along the Atlantic coast from the south, from the southeast, Savannah, Georgia, all the way up to Bangor, Maine. This is going to be a long stretch, long duration precipitation event. We have a significant frontal boundary that's stretching from the deep south all up the Appalachian. This is rotating right along the spine of the Appalachian mountain range up into the Vancouver, not Vancouver, but we want to talk about eastern Canada. This is going up into the St. Lawrence River Valley area. We have Quebec City, Montreal, Toronto. We're going to see rain showers extend all the way up along this cold front, a low pressure area up in Canada as well. And we have our developing, this was our storm that was along the Gulf Coast that's going to make a left turn and ride up the Atlantic seaboard up toward the northeast, much like a nor'easter, kind of similar to a nor'easter, and it's going to interact with this cold front. So that's going to tamp down on some of the nor'easterness of this storm system, but it's pretty much taking the track of a nor'easter, but the interaction with this frontal boundary as it inches closer toward the coastline, we're going to see those winds go from the northeast to the northwest rather quickly. So it's not going to be a full-on nor'easter. But we will see pretty substantial amounts of rainfall, a couple inches of rain, and we're going to see a lot of wind as well. So wind and rain and lots of tropical moisture to work with. So we're going to see several inches of rainfall along the mid-Atlantic up to New England. So cities like Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Providence, you can see 3 or 4 inches of rain from this storm system as we head into the weekend. So another rainy weekend is in store for the Northeast. Okay, so as we get to Saturday, our low pressure system comes all the way up from the deep south, from the southeast, from the Florida-Georgia border. It works its way up the Atlantic coastline, up to New England. So we're going to see that rain through Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. We're going to see showers across eastern New York, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Massachusetts, we're going to see that rain, heavy showers at times, maybe some isolated thunder, but no severe weather. But we will see that heavy rain. We have that cold front that's going to stall. We're going to have a stationary front right along the coastline here, right along I-95, I-91. We're going to see our frontal boundary stall out and become stationary. Behind that front, we're going to see those winds coming from the northwest as Canadian high pressure moves in on the backside. So it's going to be brisk and chilly. Those temperatures are going to tumble from the 60s down to the 40s and 50s. So a sharp drop in the temperatures and a stiff breeze from the west and northwest. So definitely a change in the weather across the northeast, a very up and down pattern. We're going to see a much more amplified weather pattern take place. I'm going to stand right here where you can see the troughing. So you see next week, over the weekend here, big trough over the west, pretty big trough over the east, but right over me, we have a ridge over the center of the nation. So we have the ridge of, this is what's called a dirty ridge. A dirty ridge is a ridge that allows storm systems like this to travel underneath the ridge or along the periphery of the ridge, and that is going to allow this band of rain and thunderstorms right here that's going to shift to the east. So that's going to eventually spread that rainfall along the east, the Gulf Coast next week. So, but over the weekend, that storm system is going to be right here over the central and southern plains. Colder, snowier and wet weather along the Northeast and the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. So a cool, damp weekend for the Ohio Valley, and cool and damp along the West Coast. Snow in the Northern Rockies, the Cascades, the Sierra Nevada. We're going to see some snow in the higher elevations, and we rain along the coastal sections, and we're going to see some showers in the valleys of the Intermountain West as well, as we have that colder air dropping down across the West Coast. So we're going to see that a lot of strong winds, a strong onshore flow, some low clouds and fog in Southern California, and we're going to see some scattered rain showers as well. So a very active pattern for the weekend is going to be on tap. It's very active, very, very active. Here is your travel forecast for Thanksgiving. So the West Coast, we're going to see nice weather for the West Coast for Thanksgiving. A little bit of rain and snow in the Pacific Northwest, snow across the Northern Rockies and the Northern Plains. We're going to see some snow in the upper Midwest here, Wisconsin, Minnesota, parts of Iowa. Could see some snow in the Twin Cities and through maybe down to Milwaukee as well. Rain and snow mix. Close to Chicago, but rain and snow possible in the Chicago area, Cleveland, Detroit. We're going to see some rain showers, and those rain showers are going to spread into New England, the mid-Atlantic states, down to D.C., Charlotte, and then down to Jacksonville as well. We're going to see those rain showers in Jacksonville and Atlanta, some thunderstorms down to the south on your Thanksgiving weekend. So an active weather pattern for the travel holiday or the travel days, which is going to be the 21st and 22nd. The 23rd, I think, is Thanksgiving. And then here is our holiday travel forecast. The green is going to be all good. The yellow is going to be iffy. That means you may or may you have an equal chance of rain and snow or inclement weather or everything being okay. So we will see scattered precipitation in the areas in the yellow that could cause some travel delays on this holiday. So again, looking like a somewhat active weather pattern shaping up for the holiday. Always is for Thanksgiving. Just how it goes. That is your weather forecast. I am Mr. G, your meteorologist. Thank you for joining me today. I'm kind of dizzy. I'm hungry. Got to go get some breakfast, as it's still pretty early in the morning that we're recording this video. So join me all tomorrow for the next video. Have a great day. Be safe out there. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.